Jim Miskell with the Estate Planning Law Group of Georgia. I'm here today to talk to you about your 5 rights. It's not the 5 rights you've got, it's the 5 things you've got to get right if you want your family to have an estate plan that works for them. What does that mean? That means having the instructions and directions that they need and the authorities they need to carry them out when grief and crisis strikes. Estate planning is all about loving your family and making sure that you've made provisions so that when things that you don't expect to happen, and your family isn't at a loss. So 5 rights. These are 5 things you've got to get right. The first right is people. You've got to pick the right people. You got to get it right. You got to find people you trust, who know you, who you know and trust, they know and love you, and they're competent to carry out what you need done. The people that are right for your financial agents may not be the same people that are right for your healthcare agents, and vice versa. Your son may be an EMT and just crackerjack. He's exactly who you want in a medical setting, but that kid's just never been able to manage to balance a checkbook. He's not your power of attorney agent, but he may very well be your #1 healthcare agent. So that's the first right, getting the right people in place. That means having documents that appoint your agents for the various functions that you need them for. The second thing to get right is authority. You've got to give those people the right authority so that when they walk into the bank will do what they want them, what they need done. So that when they call Fidelity, when they call whoever it is that's got your financials, they've got the authority to make the directions that you need made. The right authorities mean having a power of attorney that's built for today. Does your power of attorney encompass digital assets? Does it allow somebody the authority to modify your beneficiary designations so that they could redirect it to a trust? You may need a trust that you don't anticipate now for long-term care planning. Hard to know what the future holds. Our crystal ball here at the office broke several years ago, and we haven't been able to get it to work since. So we tend to plan for things people might need, whether those are the #1 most expected things or not. The last 6 months should tell anybody that counting on things to go the way you expect them to go is not a guarantee that that's what's going to happen. So first right, people. Second right, authority. So that the folks that you choose, the people who you know and trust, who know and love you, have the authority to carry out what needs to get done if you're not able to do it for yourself. The third is the right time. So the right time means that you've got those folks with the right authority at the right time. Is your power of attorney, do your documents require some other condition to be met? Conditional powers of attorney, or what a lot of folks call springing powers of attorney, very often result unintentionally of families being stuck in court trying to show that those conditions have been met before the people you trust have the authority to go to the bank and do what you need them to do. And at that point, you may be disabled and not able to remedy that. So the question is, do they have the authority they need at the time you need them to have it? In the workshop, we talk a lot about probate. Well, we talk some about the springing power of attorney, but also about probate and how with the will plan, you've given the authority to the right people, your executor, you've given them the authority they need under the will, but that their authority doesn't begin until the court says their authority begins, until the court has had time to review the petition for probate and the will to make sure that it is valid and that they should go ahead and be able to follow your instructions in the will. And that brings us to your 4th right. First, right people. Second, right with the right authority. Third, at the right time. And fourth, with the right instructions. So you've got to have the right people with the right authority, ready to act at the right time with the right instructions. That means that you've spent some time thinking about what are the parameters of what you want done and how do you want it done. What are things you don't want to have happen? They don't do those. What are the things you need them to do? That's part of your instructions. So you've got to have the right people with the right authority at the right time with the right instructions. And finally, wrapping all this up, is you got to work with the right professionals. The right professionals. That means your right estate planner, the right financial planner, the right tax planner. Those people have financial planners and tax planners complement what the estate planner does. Do you need a component of insurance? Do you need an income product? How do you need to manage your investments? Those aren't estate planning questions. Those are financial planning questions. But a team of professionals that understands what your goals are is the best way to achieve that. So those are your 5 rights. You've got to have the right people with the right authority at the right time with the right instructions. How do you know what are the best options to do that and how to avoid the potholes? You work with the right professionals to get it done. So those are your 5 rights of estate planning. Make sure that you get them right so your family is so glad and you secure their right to happiness in the future, that they aren't frustrated with a mess when grief and crisis strikes. I'm Jim Miskell with the Estate Planning Law Group of Georgia. I appreciate your time today.